So this is a slightly different Star Wars video. Now, this is kind of in response to a lot of things, but it's also a harken back to a video I did a little bit about how Jurassic World has made so much money. Jurassic World is still kind of making like minor residuals just from like DVD sales and whatnot, but Jurassic World, in the end of the day, it made close to, and I mean close to, like $40 million off. It's $1.7 billion. It's sitting like around $1.66 billion right now, which is still God knows how much money. But it begs the question that with the advanced ticket sales now reached about $50 million for just the advanced ticket sales, how much money is Star Wars The Force Awakens going to make? Now, to think about this, you need to think about on three different levels. You need to think about how much is it going to make its opening weekend, how much is it going to make domestically, how much is it going to make worldwide? I'm not going to count internationally because that just is the worldwide total overall. So when you think, let's start with just the opening weekend. Now, right off the bat, we got to count the 50 million in there. So it's already made 50 million before it's even released its opening weekend. Now, this is on opening day, mind you. Opening day. This isn't even opening day. This is pre-opening day. This is the advanced screening opening day. Normally speaking, a good solid movie on that opening Thursday night, that like pre-screening Thursday night, which factors in, but it's not technically the opening day. They will make anywhere from maybe a good movie will make anywhere from 10 to maybe 20, like something like the Avengers, like the original Avengers. The Age of Ultron didn't make quite as much. I think it made like a little under $100 million less, but still, it's $1.4 billion. Get over it, Disney. It didn't do quite as well. It's still a profit. They called it a failure. I'm like, what are you talking about? But anyway, something like Avengers, some like big name blockbuster thing, might do anywhere from, say, 10 to 20 million on the Thursday. Maybe. That's if they're lucky. Star Wars on its opening pre-Thursday night release, I'm pretty certain this is the numbers we're talking about right now, is made roughly $50 million. Give or take, maybe it's for Friday, so maybe factor off maybe $5 million or so, or even $10 million. It's still anywhere between 40 and 50 million this thing is made on the Thursday night. Made 8 times the record of the previous pre-sale holder, Hunger Games. Jeez! So let's factor that into the play now. And that's just the pre-screening. The pre-screening. Multiple screens for the pre-screening too. Multiple. I'm going to the midnight one myself. Then you go into opening day and the opening weekend. You got to factor in, I believe they factor in Friday, Saturday, and then they finish out with a little bit of Sunday for their opening box office. If you count people who are already going to see it, tickets that are already sold out, and people who are going to go rewatch it the day afterwards, depending on how good it is. And that's all. This movie's probably going to be amazing. But even if it's just good, you're going to see people going back in the theaters to go see it again. I'm certain I'll see it more than once. Absolutely, I'm certain I'll see it more than once. But I'm probably not in the opening weekend, unless, funds allow and I got nothing better to do that weekend. So if you factor in million on just the Thursday, and then you got to probably double or triple it on the opening day alone for all around the world. It's one of those things where I do believe it will be. I think it will be the highest. First off, it's beating the record for December. December's record's like 90 million, I think. Yeah, that record's dead and done. But December record is done. In terms of how much it's going to make, I do believe it's going to beat Jurassic World in terms of, because I think what's going to happen is going to be something like the Avengers, where they have a certain amount of theaters sold out. We're going to open a couple more theaters. Sold out. Going to open a couple more theaters until eventually a certain amount of theaters, at least on that opening night and opening day, would have had nothing but Avengers. I think we're going to see something similar to this, which means that this movie, I think, is going to make, I'm going to conservatively say $250 million. Opening weekend, $250 million. I think a lot of people are in that boat right now. I've heard people say $300 million. And I agree with Campia from Collider Movie Talk. I'm not certain there's just physically enough seats to allow that. That being said, we also got to factor in IMAX screenings and XD screenings, 3D screenings, so it's all going to be variant and all depending on those. But that's just domestic opening weekend. Then you got to factor in how much is it going to make domestically alone. Now, to figure that out, you got to think, how long is it going to be in theaters? Because how long is it going to be? What is it going to be going up against, basically? And to answer that question, we're going to go to Mr. Internet. So, Mr. Internet, what is the answer to that question? What will Star Wars: The Force Awakens be going up against in the coming weeks after its release? So, it comes out the 18th. It's going up against... I laugh at this. It's going up against the Tina Fey and Amy Poehler comedy Sisters. Yeah, that's going to be some competition. Extraction and Son of Saul, both movies I don't know. I think they're smaller budget. Road Trip moved. Alvin and Chipmunks 4 moved its date to that date. That's doing nothing. That's doing nothing to Star Wars. It may take the most... every movie's going to take a little bit of money from the other. But... I think, is there going to be any other decent kids? Good Dinosaur will actually probably still be out, so maybe they'll see Road Trip and be like, this sucked. I want my money back for this crap. And then go see Good Dinosaur like a smart person would. However, moving on. It's got Road Trip to go up against. Again, no big conversation the week afterwards. It's going to dominate the box office after that. Then we have Joy, Daddy's Home, Point Break, Concussion, The Hateful Eight, and The Revenant. Which, I believe also... that The Hateful Eight and The Revenant those aren't the official release dates. Those come out actually in January. Those are just limited release dates. So, Daddy's Home might take a little from it. Joy may take a little from it, but it's not going to be, and that's just my dad leaving. It's Point Break's not going to really do anything. In fact, all these movies are going to be counter-programming each other here right now, and not in a good way. I mean, they're all different, but at the same time, none of these are going to really be standing out. I mean, Joy, I think, and Daddy's Home are probably going to do okay. Point Break, I think, is going to bomb. Concussion, I think, might do okay because it's based on true events, and people are really digging that these days. Hateful Eight and The Revenant are not going to be doing anything until they're actually officially released. So for the month of December... After Star Wars, after the 18th month of December, it's going to be nothing but Star Wars that's going to be dominating the box office. And then, okay, so that's 2 weeks is basically in theaters after that. Then we move on to January. January's got, okay, that's when The Hateful Eight and The Revenant really get officially released. They get released the 8th of January. Those might take some money away. That's third week? Yeah, Star Wars, even though it'll be in its third week, and might still be making decent bank. Hateful Eight's still going to be, and Revenant are going to definitely take some money away from that. But then you got 400 Days is the week after. Excuse me. You got the Fifth Way to Ride Along 2 and the 13 Hours Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. None of those are really going to hurt Star Wars at all. I mean, granted, this will be week 4, I think, and then week 5 it'll be 50 Shades of Black and Kung Fu Panda. 50 Shades of Black is going to take a decent chunk away from whatever it's making at that point. I do believe, though, we're going to see Star Wars go all the way into February, but once that happens, once it hits Deadpool, that's basically going to be the end of Star Wars' run. I mean, in terms of any major box office equipment, because, again, January and February are often considered the dumping grounds. Now, that being said, a lot of not terrible-looking movies and a lot of more big-budget movies are being dropped next year in those months. But I do believe Star Wars is going to last that long. Now, that's the roundabout long way of going, hey, what's this movie going to make? So, if we go by maybe the 250 number for the month of December on the opening weekend, and then we say that if we go by rewatchability, people going to rewatch this a lot, I don't think it's going to drop less than 50%. I actually don't think it will drop less than 50%. At most, it will drop 50%, maybe. But if I go by that numbers, I say it makes maybe still another 135 million. Second week, that means just domestically made it 375 million. Then you go into week 2. Then after week 3, that's when you're going to see some of the drop, some of the big drop. I think it makes maybe about another 70 million after that. Again, domestically. We're just going domestically. And so that's 445. And then the week after that, drops again, maybe about 35. I say it maybe closes out domestically at around $600 to $700 million when it's all said and done, domestically speaking. Which I think it's going to be in that top. I think it's definitely cracking the $1 billion mark. There's no doubt about that. But the question then stands. What is going to be the worldwide box office? Now, that's the one where what's the overall long-term amount of money this movie's going to be making? To answer that question, you need to think, how rewatchable is this movie going to be? How good is this movie going to be? How much Star Wars fans are going to clamor to see this movie again? How much is everyone going to want to see this movie again? And I think the answer to all that is a great deal. I think everyone's going to want to see this movie. All the original Star Wars fans who were disappointed with the prequels, even the ones who like the prequels, are still going to want to see this. But who are disappointed, want to see a continuation rather than just a story retold. They're going to want to see this. People of a new age are going to be introduced to this. All theaters all over the country and even over the world are doing Star Wars marathons for the original 3, and even the original or even the prequels. So, yeah, they're doing marathons. Cinemark hasn't announced theirs yet, but I'm certain they will. I'm not certain if I'll be able to go to those. Again, just funds are going to be a little tight for the next couple of weeks. But the point is that we get new audience gets introduced, and I have a feeling we're all going to just fall in love with this movie again. I really do. And it's a fear that we're setting the bar too high. We are setting the bar too high, and there's still a chance it could suck. There is, but I don't think it's going to. I think this is going to be amazing. I think I'm going to love it to death. I think everyone's going to love it to death. But then, how rewatchable do you get? This is just my opinion now. I have no basis of proof to back this up. But I think this will maybe only the third movie in history to worldwide crack the $2 billion mark. That's what I think. Now, does it stand a shot at beating Avatar? Originally, a lot of people, and even myself, would say no, because it's coming off the prequels. Now, that doesn't mean it wasn't going to make bank, and it wasn't even going to make billions of dollars, but because of the prequels and the stench that left, and for a lot of people, not everyone hates the prequels. I'm not a fan of them, extremely. I like parts of them. I did my video on what was good about them. You can check it out. But the point remains is that the prequels left a bad taste in Star Wars fans' mouth. So we've been hungering for something better, but still we got the taste of those prequels. But with the pre-sales that we've seen, with everything we've been seeing from this movie, I think we don't have to worry about the prequels, the existing at all. I don't think we got to worry about that. So I'm going to just conservatively say it's going to make over $2 billion. I'm going to be that person. I'm going to say it's going to make over $2 billion. Now, worldwide opening day, that's a different story entirely. Jurassic World made like $500 million worldwide its opening day. I think Star Wars will beat that. I do. I think Star Wars is beating Jurassic World in general. By how much? See, I'm saying the 250 mark for just domestically. Worldwide, 700 million. I'm saying 700 million worldwide opening day. So that's what I think. Again, just to recap, I think we're going to see about a 750 opening domestic, 250 million opening domestic, 700 million opening internationally, worldwide. 700 million domestically when it's all said and done, which is impressive. Most films don't do it. I think Avatar holds the record. I think at like 7 something. And then I'm saying minimum $2 billion worldwide when this is all said and done. I think we're going to see this enter the $2 billion club, which is basically right now reserved for James Cameron. James Cameron owns the $2 billion club right now because he's got the 2 highest grossing films ever, Titanic and Avatar. But, watch out. Disney and Lucas are coming. So, and we do have only one star. I mean, when adjusted for inflation, they've actually said that Star Wars is the second highest, the original Star Wars, is the second highest grossing film of all time, when adjusted for inflation. But we've only got one legit Star Wars movie that is, in fact, over $1 billion, and it's Phantom Menace. Because we were all coming off the original trilogy and like, yeah, this is great. Then after we see it a couple more times, like, not so great. So that's why people went to go rewatch it just to get more Star Wars. But that's my thoughts on that. $2 billion worldwide. 250 domestic opening, 700 domestic open, worldwide opening, and then 700 domestically when it's all said and done. And I could be completely wrong in every one of these numbers, but that's just like I'm sticking with the Finn as a Skywalker, Rey as a Solo, Kylo's a Solo theory. I'm gonna stick with those numbers until proven wrong. Which, hey, it's the 23rd right now in November. It's getting there quick, man. It's getting there real quick. I've got what, 7 more days left in November. So I've got 25 days left to wait till my pre-Christmas. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be Christmas for me. So yeah, thanks for watching then. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want us to talk about something, put that in the comments below. Let us know. We'll talk about it at some point. We'll do a review of some kind. So I got one more video and then I'm done.